When I think of traditional knives featuring modern materials, the first brand that comes to my mind is Rosecraft blades. Featuring some of my favorite slip joints. They have amazing fit and finish, high quality, at crazy low prices. Today, we're going to look at not one, but two gorgeous new versions of the Otter Barlow. And trust me, you're going to be surprised at how affordable these are. Stick around. What it do, Kripple Krew? EDC with DVD, disabled but deadly. And that's right, thanks to the Rosecraft Passaround, we get to take a look at two beautiful new versions of the Otter Barlow. Before we get into that though, do me a favor and stab that like button, like you mean it. Make sure that you've /subscribe and that you've bashed that bell for notifications so that you don't miss anything, like next week's members only giveaway. For several years, Rosecraft has been killing it with high quality and very, very ergonomic modern knives at very affordable budget prices. They've also put out a gorgeous modern traditional in the Clinch River button lock that truly is one of my favorite button locks and one of the best values on the market, coming in at right about $100 with titanium clip bolsters, titanium liners, titanium backspacer, and an M39 M390 Wharncliffe blade. Yeah, stupid pricing. However, what they're definitely most well known for is their slip joints. Like this gorgeous Clinch River swayback. This is the new Stag edition. And these are coming in right at about $69, $70 after discount code for one of my favorite slip joints ever made. I love the Wharncliffe blade for all types of utility and pinch grip tasks. But this choil allows me to choke up and use this knife for more medium duty tasks than I would normally use most slip joints for. The Stag handles are going to be unique to everyone and they are very comfortable in hand. Rosecraft has really been killing it lately. And one thing that they have been doing besides releasing new patterns is new scale materials on existing patterns, like the Stag edition of the Clinch River swayback. One of the versions that we're going to look at today is a Stag version. Now, today's video is going to be an unboxing and an overview of these two versions of the Rosecraft blades Otter Barlow. Now, this is not a full review because I do want to be 100% transparent with you. Part of our agreement with Rosecraft blades and their Passaround is that we do only the lightest of cutting tasks with these knives because they want them looking beautiful and brand new for the next reviewer. So while we will slice paper, this isn't, I'm going to be honest, I haven't really carried these knives and put them through any type of, real world usage. But I have plenty of experience with Rosecraft slip joints. This one is my main slip joint that I carry. I have it in an awesome Rosecraft blades leather slip. By the way, these are crazy affordable. I'll put the price on the screen, but these are crazy affordable, especially after discount code. And I do have a lot of experience with multiple Rosecraft slip joints, over close to a dozen of their modern knives. And of course, I've had this for close to a year now, and I have carried the crap out of this. So while I have not put these through full testing, I still have a lot of faith in the brand, and I know that these are both going to be phenomenal knives. Now, when you unbox a Rosecraft blade, this comes in a plain white covering typically, but that's ugly. So I was showing this box. And when you open it up, you'll get your slip joint wrapped in paper. Traditional old school slip joint method of shipping. And these are the Otter Creek Barlow in the beautiful blue micarta, and also the new Stag pattern. And first, let's give you some specs on the Otter Creek Barlow. What you are looking at is 6.4 inches overall with a 2.9 inch D2 clip point blade with a full flat grind and a satin finish. Yes, that full flat grind makes a difference, makes these slicey as heck. They are 3.5 inches closed. They rock 105 thousandths blade stock thickness. So we start off with a thinner blade stock and then a full flat grind to get down to a slicey edge. And the micarta version comes in at 2.7 ounces, while the Stag is hitting right at 3 ounces. So very lightweight, very easy to carry, especially if you had a Rosecraft slip. And they rock the traditional Barlow pattern on the shape of the handle. This is I would consider this more of a medium-sized slip joint. We'll compare it to the Clinch River swayback, which is going to come in nearly an inch longer. We will also compare it to my Beg Knives slip joint, which is their large sheep's foot, which is going to come in about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch longer. Another fantastic slippy option. However, Rosecraft blades pricing is definitely more affordable. I'm going to give you a little bit of walk and talk on both of these before we continue. Feels like I need to wipe my hands real quick. There we go. Let's do walk and talk on the micarta. I would consider the pull on these personally at right about a 3. However, as you can see, if your hands are sweaty, you might need to use that nail nick to get it out. I'll show you how much of that is exposed. You can get to that entire nail nick, but typically I don't use a nail nick. I grab the blade, and that's why I was having issues when Okay, I did have to take the video back a couple of seconds and take part of it out, and then had a completely DVD moment. So you guys, if you're familiar with the channel, you know that my hands tend to dry out, and I had a fingertip split open while I was shooting the video, just split because of being dry, and got a little bit of that red stuff that YouTube cannot tolerate on a blade. So even though I didn't actually get myself with the blade, I had to stop the video and clean the red stuff off the knives. I'm going to talk about D2 and that aspect in just a moment, but while I was cleaning the knives, I sliced the snot out of my thumb with one of these very sharp and slicey Otter Creek Barlows. So we're back now. Hopefully no more red stuff, and that's my chance to talk a little bit about D2. D2 at this price range is one of the best steals for edge retention. You're going to be able to keep this sharp, slicey edge sharp and slicey for a long time. Also, it's a decently tough steel. Now, it is not fully corrosion resistant. So it is a steel that you want to make sure you keep clean. I use Mad Wax on my blades. Mad Wax from Mad Yako is down in the description under, Mad Yako stuff. DoubleWideEDC.com is the website. DoubleWideEDC.com for Mad Yako, Hanks, and Mad Wax. However, I'm just pointing that out because with D2, you definitely don't want to put it away with blood on it or put it away wet because it can corrode. Now, it does have some corrosion resistance, so it's not, for me, I've never had an issue with D2 corroding where I live. But if you're in a high saltwater area or in a very humid area down south, you might want to make sure that you keep these oiled up. Let's take a look at how slicey these edges are. Whoop, that's my fault. This piece of paper is my last piece. I need to get more. It's all jacked up. But this thing, both of these are crazy sharp and slicey. The blade style is perfect for EDC. You have a nice low tip, putting it right about center line of where the pivot is, meaning that it's very easy to get that tip down, that nice pokey tip down, and use it in a pinch grip or a utility grip where your finger just goes right on that clip. Also, because of this downward angle on the blade, it means you can use that full belly on a flat surface without busting your knuckles. It gives you a lot of different cutting options, skinning, slicing, draw cuts, whatever you need to do. You can do with this beautiful blade shape. Now, I do have to point out, slip joints don't lock. You know, it is on a nice tight back spring so that you don't have to really worry about it popping closed on you if you're using it like you should use a slip joint. But slip joints aren't made for heavy duty use, and you definitely want to be careful about different torques that you put on the blade so that you don't have it pop closed. Luckily, we have a very solid half stop on both of these. You know, making it a little bit safer for you to use this blade and not worry about dropping it on your knuckles. But still, you want to use this the proper way you're meant to use a slip joint. Now, let's talk about the fit and finish on both of these. And I'm going to start with this beautiful micarta. For a lot of people, this is going to be the one because it's going to look the same on both sides, minus the beaver paw or the otter paw print. And that symmetrical look is just gorgeous on this. We've got the beautiful stainless bolsters, nickel silver pins, and then look how flush our back spring is. I feel no gaps. It's perfectly smooth and stays that way in all positions. Half stop, perfectly smooth. Fully open, completely smooth on the back spring. These are very well put together and very well tuned. And it's the same with this beautiful Stag version. Let's start closed. We are totally flush. We open up to our half stop position. Still completely flush. You know, I can feel a little grip on part of the Stag just because it's a natural material, but the metal layers are definitely nice and flush, and same in the open position. We have very tight tolerances and perfectly centered blades. And as you can see, the addition of the Stag handles not only makes it so it's not exactly the same on both sides. Like you can see this line looks different, but that's because this is a natural material from true deer stag antler, and every single one of them is going to be unique. And that means even both sides of the knife are going to be unique. Now, if you're into natural materials like wood, antler, bone, and so on, then this is nothing new to you. However, if you are one that needs that symmetry, then the Micarta version is going to be perfect for you. Both of these feature contour scales, but this being Micarta, it's perfectly smooth contoured, and their polished finish on this is just beautiful. Micarta will take a patina and age with you as you use it, showing your story of the knife, which I always love. If you are in the market for a badass budget slip joint, I recommend beginning and ending with Rosecraft blades. Whether you prefer the smaller slip joints, larger slip joints, they have a wide selection. Barlows, they have so many patterns that I can't even begin. Farmhand, sodbusters, there's just, swaybacks. There's so many patterns that they have that you can find the perfect slip joint for you. Maybe you don't currently carry slip joints, but you remember fondly your dad or grandpa carrying one and you'd like to check it out. I didn't carry one for over 20 years until I was gifted one. And from that point on, I do rather frequently have a slip joint on me as one of my blades. I'm going to give you some pricing real quick, and this is why I'm going to blow your mind. So after discount code, currently I'm going to tell you, I have asked for my own code. I don't have one yet with Rosecraft blades, so I'm going to give you Swags' code. And yes, that doesn't help me at all, but I don't care. I just want you to save money on getting an awesome slip joint. So if you have a different creator's code that you would prefer to use, go ahead and use it. But the code RCP SWAGS, and that'll be on the screen, is the one that I'm recommending. And that's going to drop this version, the beautiful Micarta. Just look at that. All the way down to $54. That to me is very fair for those materials and that build quality. And then the Stag, which definitely is more expensive of a material and takes more time to refine like this, comes in at a very affordable $69 after discount. I think both of those prices are great for what you're getting. Which one personally would I choose? Well, because I already have Stag on the swayback, and I really do like it, but I already have it. I would personally save a little bit of change and get this beautiful Micarta. You know, I'm normally not a blue guy, but I love the look of this Micarta. However, if you dig that natural material, I can say that they are doing a phenomenal job with their Stag. I have been highly impressed and can absolutely recommend the Stag version as well. I'd like to know your thoughts below. Which one of these do you prefer? Do you carry a slip joint or own a Rosecraft blade? And what do you think your next slip joint purchase is going to be? I hope everybody has a killer day, night, morning, evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. Stay safe, stay frosty, but most importantly, folks, stay deadly.